am a huge music enthusiast with a passion for vinyl and cassettes, and upgrading my audio system is long overdue. I just swapped out my turntable cartridge and picked up this awesome amp. Now all that's left is some high-end speakers. We've got 4 levels of this build that we need to defeat. Level 1, the technical crap. We gotta build these cabinets to exact specifications, and then we gotta learn how to wire this up. Level 2, they need to look amazing. That's what I'm good at. Level 3, the stands. They also have to look amazing, but they also have to not transfer that bass energy into the floor. And level 4, the speaker grills. This is gonna be a little controversial with the audiophile community. I wanna make the best speakers possible, so I'm starting off with this DIY kit from CSS Audio. Since I am not a scientist, I'm following their exact specs for the inside of the cabinet and making it out of a dense 13-ply Baltic birch plywood. The only changes I made to their plans was I'm adding rabbets instead of butt joints for an airtight seal. And the rabbets make it nearly impossible for it to get out of square during glue up. I forgot to account for the face that we're going to add later, so that's a problem we're going to have to deal with to avoid diffraction. We'll discuss what diffraction is at a more appropriate time. I know absolutely nothing about crossover boards and electronics, and I suck at soldering. This kit is made for people just like me. All the components fit right into the board. It's like putting together a puzzle. It's nearly impossible to screw up. All the wires come through the back, and it's basically a paint-by-numbers system. It couldn't be easier. The crossover boards get mounted into the cabinets. We add our base ports, making sure they are at the proper length, stuff it with foam to avoid standing waves, and the technical part of this build is done. I've got another video that goes into a lot more detail of everything that we just blew over. I just want to get to what I'm good at, and that is making these sweet bastards look amazing. We got some beautiful locally grown walnut that is going to look so freaking good. All right, let's get milling. It's all rough, so there's a lot of work to do. I got that walnut all milled up and then glued together so it's wide enough. I'm not gonna be able to have continuous grain all the way around, just don't have the wood for that. But I am gonna do 45 miters on each piece, so.
That's a lot of miters.
We're gonna cut 45-degree miters on each piece over at the table saw. One of my favorite bands in the world has a new album coming out next week. I pre-ordered the vinyl and I told myself I don't get to listen to it until I get to listen to it on these speakers. So we got a deadline. I got the 4 outside pieces cut. It's looking really good. I made a huge mistake. I did not mill up enough wood for 2 speakers because I was measuring the inside of the pieces instead of the outside of the pieces. So off camera, when you guys are sleeping, I'm gonna mill up some more wood, glue it together, and then work on the other speaker. But for now, let's concentrate on this guy right here. I wanna do something with the face. I think I want some really cool colored acrylic here. It's gonna get covered up, but sometimes I'm gonna be like one of those weird ass audiophiles and want to take the grills off to listen to my music. I'm never gonna do that. But I do want it to look cool when the grills are off. We all want to look cool when the grills are off. Some of you are worried about diffraction. Take it easy, calm down, hands off the keyboard. We're gonna take care of that, okay? Calm down. Audiophiles, Daniel.
I tell you what.
I tell you what. We're gonna use some Trolleys material from Trotec and cut it out on the Rayjet R400. If you think this is cheating, let me know by hitting that like button. Took me a whole bunch of tries to get this right. I cut it out of paper first to get all the hole positions just right. As of now, the speakers sit back 1/8 of an inch. I think it's called diffraction or some shit that I don't really care about or will ever hear. So I'm gonna take them out, make a little gasket, and then put them back in so everything is flush and everybody's happy and there are absolutely no negative comments down below. None. We're doing everything so perfect today that I won't even leave a chance to leave a negative comment. This is gonna be my first video that is nothing but thumbs up. 0 thumbs down, 0 negative comments, 100% golden, yummy, delicious goodness. Check it. I was just telling Daniel, I gotta be really careful to not stab the speakers with the screwdriver, and right before he hit record, I stabbed the speaker with the screwdriver. It's good, it's okay, but man, no negative comments. Got those gaskets cut to the perfect size. Got a nice tight fit in there. I'm gonna use plenty of glue to seal that off, because again, needs to be super airtight. And one solid piece of wood so we don't get any weird resonance or bad comments. I can't believe this is gonna be our first video without any bad comments. So now we can glue this into place. Everything is flush, no bad comments. It looks sketchy, but there's a clear plastic coating on there that we have to peel off. I'm gonna be super careful to not get glue anywhere I don't want glue. Also don't want to get it on my fingers and leave fingerprints on top of the acrylic. Y'all know what super glue can do to acrylic. So for the back, I'm just gonna veneer it, nothing fancy. So I've got this set on a piece of veneer and I'm drawing out the base ports on here. These don't have to be exact because there's a nice lip on those base ports that'll cover up my nasty cuts. I already got one nasty cut today. To attach that veneer, we're gonna add some contact cement on both sides. That goes on there like that. And I should just be able to press that down. I'm only gonna put glue on the front of this because this is solid walnut. It's like 16 inches wide and it's gonna wanna expand and contract a little bit. So if it does, it can expand and contract out the back and then the front seams will always be perfect. Go up here like this. I added some feet made just for speakers and that completes level 2. We're gonna work on the fancy grill in the next step. Right now, we're gonna work on the base, and I'm gonna use some sheet metal and some square tubing, which is eventually gonna get covered up with wood. We're gonna do some experimental things. This may or may not work. Rule 4, consider everything an experiment. This is my first time using my metal cutting circular saw. This is so satisfying because it just works so well, so well. One of the rare times I get a decent weld with some good penetration. I consider myself a pretty stylish dude. I'm one of those shoe fanatics. I'm pretty picky about how I look, and I think that's a common thing among creative people. So when I got the opportunity to work with today's sponsor, I got pretty excited. Holzkern means wood core in German, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know how beautiful wood speaks to my soul. Check out this line of beautiful wood watches. I've got one on now, and I am stunned by its beauty. And of course I picked walnut, and it matches today's speaker build perfectly. Holzkern was founded as a small family business and has physical stores throughout Austria and Germany, but of course you can order direct from their websites. All of their products are partially made from wood, stone, mother of pearl, and even meteorite. The grains and marbling of the materials used allow for every product to be truly unique. My wife Kelly has the Perception necklace with a beautiful zebra wood inlay. Everything is shipped from Vienna to all of Europe and North America, and Holzkern covers all the shipping costs and custom fees. Holzkern is a leader in watch, jewelry, and accessories made from natural materials like wood and stone. I've got a custom discount code and link for you down in the description. Thank you, Holzkern, for sponsoring today's video. Of course I picked Walnut. Of course I picked Walnut. All right, let's get back to these speakers. Thank you, Holzkern. We are done with all the boring metalworking. Now we can get back to the exciting stuff, the woodworking. I went to Kencraft and I got this beautiful 8/4 piece of walnut. It is stunning. So I'm gonna plane it down just a little bit to get some nice clean faces. And then these stands that we made, I don't wanna see any of the metal. So we're gonna cover up all of them. We're gonna do some experimental things with the column. For the base, I want this to wrap around the center post here. So I'm gonna notch out on the bandsaw. Broke a blade. In woodworking, there's always more than one way to make a cut. The mailman came and the Hives album has arrived, so we didn't get it done in time. Although, it did come a day before its release. So I still have one more day to get this done. And if I don't get it done, we don't get to listen to the new Hives album. They're so good, they're so good. I'm going to see them in November. I can't wait. I do want to make sure I got these about perfect. That'll save a lot of sanding. Gorilla Glue construction adhesive type stuff to glue this to the base here. So I'm just gonna lift this up. So while that is drying, I want to do something really experimental. I want to take a sheet of walnut veneer and I want to wrap it around so it's big in the front and then pinch it off so it's thin in the back, sort of like an airplane wing. Although it might work just like this, it would easily be dentable, so I need to figure out a way to fill the inside. That is where foam insulation is gonna come in handy. Would you look at that? Now, of course, I could have cut these all by hand, making a router template and then using a router, but I wouldn't be able to listen to the new Hives album tomorrow. This is faster, more precise, easier, saves me time. So that is our column. We're gonna glue all of these to each other. I found that spray adhesive eats away the foam, super glue eats away the foam, so the best glue is just the PVA glue that I'm flinging around. We're gonna do this in 2 halves. I'm just gluing these all together. This is going to make sure that they are nice and vertical because I got a little straight edge I can register up against. This doesn't dry fast like wood. Like you can clamp wood together and in like 15 minutes you won't be able to pull it apart. This is, for some reason, this takes a while. Now that the 2 halves are done, we're gonna glue these together. So we have this gap up here and I'm just gonna wedge these foam pieces in there. So it's nice and tight and that doesn't move. Ugh, and that's just compressing that foam down real good. So it's nice and sturdy. Stirred, it's nice and stirred. Getting ready to glue that veneer right on here. We're gonna take this and just wrap it around. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. Oh man, and then just a bunch of little spring clamps on the back. Pinch that off. Some of my Harbor Freight clamps still have the tags on there. Remember back in the 90s when we used to leave our tags on the hat?
Starter jackets?
Starter jackets. I'm not doing this for my pleasure or the pleasure of the column. I'm just making sure it's all tight. Although the column and myself are both getting pleasure out of this. There's gonna be a lip that overhangs on the top here, so this won't be seen, but I can't just leave this like this in case you're looking at it from underneath. So I'm gonna glue this strip on right here.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Siri, what the f Oh, we rolling? So I'm gonna glue this piece of veneer on the bottom here, purely decorative, but I got the grain running the opposite way to create a transition from the column to the base. I wanna cover up this seam, and I have a crazy idea. I don't know if this is safe, so don't do this, but I'm gonna take a dowel and I'm gonna cut a groove in the bottom of that dowel. And so I taped a piece of wood to it so it'll sit flat and not twist going through the table saw. I'm gonna take a chance. I think this is safe. Daniel, is this safe?
Oh, yeah.
We're good to go. So I got a bunch of glue in that groove. I'm not sure if this is totally gonna work. I think it's gonna work. Hopefully it goes deep enough. We'll just tape that down. I'm basically gonna make an upside down box with miter corners that's going to fit over top of the speaker column. So I put a sacrificial fence here on my miter gauge and I made a cut so I can see exactly where this is going to cut. I cut a groove in there so we can make a spline for a little bit of strength when it comes time to glue it up. Now I'm gonna cut a rabbet on the inside of all the pieces, which will make sense here in a little bit. It'll just take me way too long to explain what's going on, and it won't make any sense because you won't be able to see it. And so I'm gonna save a lot of time by not talking and just do it, and then it'll make sense later when it comes time to glue it up, and then it'll be super clear, and we will not have wasted a bunch of time talking. This is a brand new product from MegSwitch. This goes into my miter slot. I can then set my width and then lock that down. And now I got a feather board to keep my board feathered. Adding my splines, which is gonna add a bunch of strength. And then this is just gonna go together like that. That is so satisfying. That's such a good fit. And the last thing we need to do before adding some finish, that just goes over top of there like that. Now let's make some grills. This is going to be a little experimental. It might not work. I've got two pieces that nest inside each other. This one is thicker than this one on purpose. So I'm gonna lay this down. I just wetted down this cloth, a speaker grill cloth, and ironed it. So then this goes over top of this, and it's gonna stretch that fabric until it snaps into place here. So now I'm just adding CA glue around the seams. Flip that over. Look how tight that is. See how it's raised up a little bit? So I don't want the face of this orange, so I cut out some walnut veneer over on the laser that's gonna go over top of this. And there's just gonna be this nice little orange accent along the side. I think I would have wanted this orange if I had opaque orange, but I only had transparent, translucent, transparent. Never learned the difference. Doesn't matter now. We're gonna contact cement this guy down. I added a piece to the back to thicken it up so I can install these press fit guides, and that allows me to pop on and off the grills, and that completes the final level. These speakers look so amazing in my living room, and it sounds a million times better than the 40-year-old speakers I was using. I have the height so the tweeter is at my ear level when I'm listening in my listening chair. It's impossible for me to scientifically show you how well they sound in a YouTube video, so I'm not even gonna try. You're just gonna have to trust me. They sound amazing. These speakers have the bass port on the back, so they are not supposed to be up against the wall. We'll have to do a little rearranging to make this possible. I didn't get it done in time to listen to the new Hives album on release day, but better late than never. I love how if I want to change the look in the future, I can make new stands and grill covers, and I've already started making a new set of grills just because I think I can do a little better with the design. I'll make a short on that process. Next up, we got to get rid of this IKEA cabinet and make one just for my setup and something that can hold all my vinyl and cassettes. Thank you to Holzkern for sponsoring this build. There's a discount code and link in the description as well as a pinned comment. Watch more amazing build videos here and rock out. I think I like the stands even more when they're backwards.